Whoa, that was crazy. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video currently taking place from a hotel room as I've been traveling a lot the past couple of days. But anyway, the Apple event just finished and there's a lot to talk about, and so let's just get to it. So I think many of us were thoroughly confused with the first part of the event when they were talking about the music updates and when they announced this voice plan for $5 a month. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about it or going into why it was confusing, but I honestly think it was just really bad scripting and kind of wording, because it seems like they just now have a 50% off Apple Music plan, but they were like talking about Siri a bunch, so it made us all think that like you're just paying to use Apple Music with Siri only. Like I'm pretty sure it's just regular Apple Music without some of the more advanced features like lossless or spatial audio for $5 a month to probably compete with Spotify's like student plan or whatever. So that's fine, whatever, cool. But the big news today was all about Macs, and specifically the MacBook Pro. So we didn't see any new iMac Pro or Mac Pro today, as I kind of figured probably gonna have to wait another year for that. But what they did launch today was a brand new 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro, as well as the big hype around the two new chips, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. Oh, Apple and your naming schemes, but no one really cares because the performance, yet to be validated by everyone to use them, but from what Apple has said, is just mind-boggling, mind-blowing, mind-exploding. The only specky stuff that I want to throw out to begin with is kind of the pricing, since you can actually order it today to be delivered next week, which is pretty crazy. If you want to absolutely ball out on the 16-inch MacBook Pro, the pricing is very expensive, but for what you get, I actually think it's a pretty good deal. So if you take the customized 16-inch and you go full max on that RAM, you can get up to 64 gigs of RAM. This is all in a laptop, remember. 8 terabyte SSD, that's gonna be the biggest price. Like if you just want the performance, save yourself over $2,000 and get a lower memory here. But what is awesome is the lowest you can get is 1 terabyte, so no more 256. And so that's gonna put you back $6,099 before tax. All I'm trying to say is that level of performance is insane. And as what we've seen with the M1 Mac Pro, this is the basic 13-inch, the performance we're gonna get out of these chips is gonna be unreal. Stepping aside from the processor and performance for a second, we just gotta take a moment to give a huge round of applause for Apple on the design of this laptop. Now, I'm already seeing hundreds of memes talking about how Apple is like, look at all the ports we gave you, even though we had all those ports a handful of years ago that they took away. So now they're just like giving it back to us and then asking us to say thank you. There's wonderful poetry in that, but you know, they're back. So yay. At least they listened to people and they brought back all the favorites. We're talking MagSafe 3, full HDMI, and the beloved SD card, even though I never really cared for that, but I know a ton of you do, so yay. Of course, we had the headphone jack and 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, which I gotta say must be really nice, because 2 on the basic M1, I'm literally battling charging for a couple minutes so that it doesn't die, and then unplugging it, plugging in 2 SD cards to transfer footage. It's real fun. Also, the overall design gives me very like nostalgia vintage vibes of the like 2008, 2011 era of MacBook Pros, kind of that little chunkier looking, thicker, all metal, like darker metal, beautifully designed. It just looks awesome. It really looks like they went for performance, ports, and all sorts of functionality over trying to have the thinnest and lightest laptop. This is a heavy guy. It's like 5.5 pounds for the 16-inch version. The new keyboard looks great. I love the matte black like behind the keys, so that whole keyboard area just looks all like blacked out and dark. That looks sweet. The MagSafe 3, it looks like we're getting that corded cable that Apple's really started bringing everywhere. This is the official black corded cable that came with my Mac Pro, and these are the absolute best cables I've ever used, in my opinion. It's a small feature, but I also love the fact that you can still charge the computer through one of the Thunderbolt ports. This is important because as we start to all get to this workflow of carrying around fewer cables when we travel, this means if you don't want to carry around that big MagSafe charging block that it will come with, and you just want to carry a USB-C cable to charge your maybe iPad Pro, your MacBook, and oh wait, not your iPhone because they didn't go USB-C this year. But hey, maybe you have an Android. So you can use one cable to charge all those devices. The new screen with like 1000 nits peak brightness is amazing. Again, for the mobile creator, anyone who edits outside is going to be very happy. Looks like a much longer battery life. The M1 chips were amazing at power efficiency, and so the Pro and Max are going to be even better. The storage speed was just ridiculous. I think it was over like 7 gigabits per second. Like, what? So if you get that like 8 terabyte internal drive and edit your footage off of that, it's going to be like butter. And yeah, of course, they interviewed a handful of pro application developers like DaVinci Resolve. Adobe was there for Premiere Pro. Saw Cinema 4D and a couple others who were just talking about how the performance, it's 5 times this, that, 4x performance here and there. And so as usual, everyone is super stoked. And again, you can order this today to be delivered as early as next week. Also very nice for anyone who's been waiting for this. They can finally pull the trigger. We didn't have to do the whole like, hey, here's the announcement, it's going to be available next summer. So already I can see comments popping up. So Michael, which MacBook Pro are you going to upgrade to? Or actually, this one's going to be more accurate. So when are you going to sell your 2019 Mac Pro and get a MacBook Pro, since it's probably going to outperform it? And you are probably not wrong. But the answer is, I'm not going to upgrade. Is it because I don't think this is a fantastic upgrade and like pretty much the biggest upgrade to the Mac line since like 2012? No, it is. And do I want one of these laptops? 1,000,000%. You see, something that I have struggled with ever since I was a teenager is always wanting the latest thing and doing every single thing I can to get it. And that has led to being a 27-year-old, very unhealthy mental thinking around consumer products. I get it. Apple and every single other company out there has to market this thing to just like make your mouth water and want it more than life itself. I get it. I don't hate them for that. Got to build hype. That's how it works. I mean, being a YouTuber, like my job is to not like build hype for companies because like that's pretty slimy. But like things that I get excited about, I want to get you excited about. But as someone who also consumes content like this, I always hate the FOMO feeling of being left out because maybe I can't afford it. And I tell you right now, I can't afford a $6,000 laptop. To me, the reason for professional equipment, whether it's cameras or computers, the whole point is that it helps you fulfill a professional need or service or whatever your job is. And for me, that's video production, primarily YouTube. I do some commercial work on the side. And if I was bringing in an exorbitant amount of money that allowed me to just drop, whatever my current setup was and pay $6,000 for this, I absolutely would. But since I can't do that, I need to take solace in the fact that I have amazing equipment. I have a now near $10,000 Mac Pro at home. I have an awesome M1 basic MacBook Pro that does everything I need it to on the go. Maybe not the perfect workflow with the lack of ports or screen size and speed, but it gets the job done. See, the other day I was hanging out with 𝗖𝗛𝗙𝗙𝗖𝗞 here from YouTube and working on a project that I cannot wait to release in hopefully somewhat soonish a couple weeks, where I am starting a new documentary series, kind of going all in about certain creators. And so when I was interviewing him, I asked him a question that kind of, I think, the answer deserves to be seen in this video, talking about when should someone upgrade a device, because he is an amazing role model in terms of like, he has a Canon 90D, he's been using it for years, has no desire to upgrade because he has mastered that camera. So I'll let him speak to it for a little bit.
In this tech space, there are so many new things coming out all the time. There's always a new phone, always a new computer, always a new tablet. There's always cool stuff dropping. And over time, you start to think, oh, I gotta upgrade every single year. I need to have the latest phone, I need to have the latest everything. But in the end, the device that you're watching this on is probably good enough. I'd say even great. The thing is, the way I see upgrading pieces of tech is not just getting it because it's new, but getting it because it makes sense or you've outgrown your old piece of tech. If you're a content creator, think about how a piece of tech can benefit your workflow or your everyday life, not just because it's the latest and greatest thing, but because it can enhance your day-to-day. That's the way I see it.
So taking advice from Isaac, I myself am trying to rewire my brain to be able to watch an announcement or an event like this and feel super excited about where technology is going and super thrilled that it exists and that people who need it or want it and have the ability to get it are able to do that. And, I'll watch all the reviews on it and be super stoked. And I myself will try to get my hands on it just for a little bit for reviewing purposes. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see that. But in terms of something that is mine, to buy and keep. But besides that, I'm going to try and spend my mental energy into just feeling grateful. Grateful that I have amazing equipment already that I've worked a very, very long time and very hard to acquire. An equipment that does exactly what I need it to do. I'm able to edit all my YouTube videos very quickly and efficiently. The reason I included all this in this video is because I know I am not the only one out there who struggles with this. And so seeing hundreds of people on Twitter just constantly updating, talking about how awesome it is, which one they're buying, which configuration they got, it is very easy to fall in the trap of thinking something that you were so happy with yesterday is now obsolete, boring, and useless. So to anyone who is buying this computer, congrats to you. It is going to be an amazing upgrade and an amazing computer for you. I'm so happy. And for those of us who are not upgrading, our stuff is also awesome. And let's continue to create more cool things and share it with the world and just be happy. It's not easy, but we all need to remember that in mediums like YouTube, your content is judged based on the content itself. I will get more praise as a creator if I make something that is just really engaging and intriguing to watch. And it doesn't matter if I shot that on a phone or if I made a terrible video, but I filmed it on a Red camera or ARRI, it's still a bad piece of content. So there you have it. That is my 2 cents on the Apple event from today. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree? Are you getting this computer? Are you waiting to upgrade or seeing what the Pro desktop versions look like next year? And again, don't forget to get subscribed so you don't miss out on my new series coming out, as well as a ton of review content coming your way this lovely Techtober. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.